NFTs on Sui are gaining momentum, and in this video I'm going to show you my top 7 collections. We'll go through the process of buying one on TradePort, which is the top marketplace for Sui NFTs. Then I'll throw in a few bonus picks that I think have big upside potential as we see more users rotate into the Sui ecosystem from Solana, Ethereum, and other chains. But before I get started, please note nothing I say is financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. Before diving into my list of top 7 Sui NFT collections, it's important to note that TradePort is a multi-chain NFT marketplace. So we'll start by clicking on Sui logo here just so that we see only Sui NFTs. Currently number 1 is Doonies with 38,000 in Sui volume. And Doonies starts out my list of top 7 Sui NFT collections, so let's take a closer look at it. Taking a look at them on X, meet Los Doonies by Dead Skull Society, over 12,000 followers. And if we take a look through their content, the first thing I notice is that they post quite often and it's good content, which is important for any NFT project. And the collection is relatively new. This post is from April 8th. We minted out exactly 3 hours. So this is just over a month old, and it's quickly becoming one of the top NFT communities on Sui. As we know with NFTs, community is a huge part of the project's success. It looks like the co-founder of Mr. Labs team behind Sui is actually rocking a Doonies NFT at the moment as his PFP. They do a lot of Twitter spaces, so they're definitely active and engaging with their community and with the broader crypto and Sui community. Let's go back to TradePort and let's take a closer look at it. So this is a collection with the size of 4,444 total. Just under 10% is currently listed. Floor price right now at 65 Sui. 56 sales in the last 24 hours. So this collection definitely has the attention of the Sui NFT community at the moment. I like the art. These work good for profile pics on X. Lots of different attributes to choose from background to clothes to eyes, hats, mouth, and so on. If we take a look over here at activity, we sort this by sales. You can see just an hour ago, one sold for 103 Sui. 2 hours ago, 133 Sui. So it's always a great sign when you're seeing buys way above the floor. Floor currently being at 64 Sui. It's a sign of strength typically in a NFT project. And so for me, this one checks all the boxes. It's in my top 7 NFT collections on Sui. Next up on my list of top 7 Sui ecosystem NFTs is Rootlets. Taking a quick look at this one, a supply of 3,333, just 2.5% currently listed. Over 500K in all-time volume. 204 Sui is the average price. Currently sitting at a floor of 229 Sui. This is a top NFT collection in the Sui ecosystem. Let's take a look at their X profile. Rootlets, companion collection to Suilin protocol, which is one of the top DeFi protocols in the Sui ecosystem. The most premium art on Sui, but the art is good though. Get ready, let's root. So a really strong community has formed around this NFT collection. So Rootlets launched back in August of 2024, and it reached an all-time high floor price of over 500 Sui. Currently sitting at around 230 Sui floor price. These also make good PFPs. We take a look at sales activity. There's a big buy over floor price where it looks like a zombie rootlet. Let's take a look at their website. Rootlet story. Rootlets are friendly creatures that have descended to colonize Earth with their cuteness. Think steampunk, space pigs taking over the universe. Rootlets utility. There is no utility. If you want a part-time job, go be a janitor. Rootlets are here to have a good time on Sui. Let's root together. So this project has a good sense of humor, not promising anything in terms of utility. But here's the big thing right here. Rootlets is a companion project to Suilin, the pioneering lending protocol developed by the Save team. So that's really a big deal. A lot of the big players, a lot of the big influencers, people within the community are repping Rootlets PFPs. Airdrop alert, we're excited to announce that Rootlets will receive their second MSend airdrop. Another 1% of the send supplies is being distributed as part of season 2 send airdrop. So just by holding a Rootlets NFT, they receive the MSend airdrop. They post good content quite often. They have their own hot sauce, it looks like, root sauce, which is great. So definitely a strong NFT project within the Sui ecosystem, and one that I'll keep my eyes on going forward. All right, next up, the MF Squid Market. So this is different from the first two. This is not really a PFP collection. This is Ika's NFT collection that many have speculated will be a big part of the upcoming Ika airdrop. Ika is one of the most anticipated airdrops this year in the Sui ecosystem. Many anticipate it could be up there with what we saw with the Walrus airdrop. These are currently sitting at a floor price of almost 88 Sui. Different levels of rarity on these, and essentially if you do purchase one of these, you're going to want to go ahead and stake it on their site, inksack.wall.app. This has a supply of 10,000. Currently less than 1% are listed. These minted back in March and are currently sitting around all-time high floor price, with the Ika airdrop anticipated to be happening in the very near future. The question is, will these continue to hold value after the airdrop takes place? No one knows. So if you're still looking to qualify for the airdrop, then this would be be a good way to do it. All right, next up is Prime Machine. This has a supply of 3,333, 7% listed, all-time volume over 1 million Sui, and currently sitting at a floor price of 302 Sui. This launched back in April 2024, so it's over a year old. Definitely an OG collection within the Sui ecosystem. So I asked Grok to tell me more about this NFT collection. It said Prime Machine NFT collection developed by Studio Mirai, venture studio building next-generation consumer experiences on Sui network. It's a blue-chip project consisting of 3,333 2D profile picture robots, each stored on-chain in 4K resolution. So the public mint was 55 Sui, and you could say those that minted have done pretty well, currently sitting at 302 Sui floor. The key features that make this one really unique, these are dynamic NFTs, which are only really possible on the Sui blockchain. Prime Machine NFTs are dynamic, allowing owners to permanently color their black and white NFTs using Kodo token. And then there's 2 different levels to coloring, it looks like. So very interesting. These are dynamic NFTs. That's why some of them you see are black and white, and then others are in color. This is definitely a blue chip project. This could easily be number 1 on my list. Again, my top 7's not necessarily in orders 1 through 7. It's just 7 that made the list, but this could definitely be number 1. As the Sui ecosystem continues to gain momentum, new users from other chains, this will be a collection that they will look to first, in my opinion. It's currently a little bit out of my reach at a 300 Sui floor, but it's definitely one that I'm going to keep an eye on as we go further into 2025. Next up is Puggies, another collection with a supply of 3,333, currently 13% listed and sitting at a floor price of around 25 Sui. This is a new collection, just launched on May 7th. Floor price has steadily increased. Definitely good looking PFP collection, pretty consistent sales volume. This is part of the Pug with meme coin. This just launched about a week and a half ago. The meme coin has been around, if we take a look at the chart on Dex Screener, since September of 24, and it reached an all-time high of over 5 million market cap, currently sitting around 539K. I like the NFTs, and it's one of the strongest communities I've noticed on X. They're highly active, they post good content on a frequent basis, and I see them all over my timeline. Jump into their Discord, it's pretty active, so that's a good sign. I think this one has some upside potential, especially if their meme coin can take off as we head further into this bull market. Puggies is one I would keep an eye on for sure. Next up is Mystic Yetis, another new PFP collection that just minted a couple weeks ago. You can see it has a supply of 5,555, currently 11% listed, over 100K all-time volume. The Mystic Yetis collection is a product of Lo-Fi the Yeti, which is currently the top meme coin in the Sui ecosystem, sitting at a $70 million market cap. This thing ran all the way up to around 220 million back in December. One of the strongest meme coin communities on Sui, and now with the NFT collection, I think that sitting at a floor price of around 25 Sui is kind of settled here after the mint. If it can tread water, and if Lo-Fi the meme coin continues to rip and goes to all-time highs, I would expect that the NFT collection would be in position to do well also, which is why they're in my list of top 7 Sui ecosystem NFTs. All right, last but not least, number 7 on my list is Fuddies. This is the OG original NFT collection on Sui. I believe it launched on the same day that Sui went on mainnet back in May of 2023. They reached an all-time high floor price of over 700 Sui, currently sitting at just 21 Sui. It's a 10K supply collection, just over 5% listed, all-time volume over 3.6 million, and I just like the way these look. These make great PFPs. Taking a look at their profile, Fuddies, fud around to find out. Over 34,000 followers. They don't post a ton of content, so there's not really anything expected in terms of utility for these. Fuddies reminds me of Bitcoin Frogs, if you're familiar with ordinals, an early collection that just sort of is what it is. But I can see a world where Sui NFTs are on fire. Sui ecosystem in general has onboarded millions of new users, and new people are going to look to see what were the first collections, and they're going to find Fuddies. Sitting around 20 Sui is interesting to me, and I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on this collection to see if I can find a good entry on one that I like. So Fuddies rounds out my list of top 7 Sui ecosystem NFTs, and now we'll move on to the bonus round. So I'm going to run through these quick, but they all have one thing in common. They have an airdrop potentially attached. So we'll start with Tallies. It's a collection again of 5,555, currently about 5.7% listed, and this collection is tied to Tallis Network, which has a confirmed airdrop coming up on the Sui blockchain at some point, most likely this year. It's a next-gen platform for decentralized AI agents, so owning a Tallies NFT most likely is one of the qualifiers or an enhancement to qualification for the Tallis airdrop, currently sitting at a 49 Sui floor. These minted in early March and are something to take a look at if you are actively farming the Tallis Network airdrop. Next up, DoubleUp Citizens. This is the PFP collection for DoubleUp app, which is a fast-growing betting app on on Sui with a confirmed airdrop. They have said that owning a Citizen NFT does automatically qualify for a portion of the UP token airdrop, as well as other utility that you can look into. Egg is one to keep on your radar. This is associated with the Aftermath Finance protocol, which has a airdrop coming up, which could be one of the larger ones within this Sui ecosystem. And it's speculated that owning an egg currently at a floor price of around 57 Sui would be some type of qualifier or booster to the airdrop allocation that you would receive. So if you're farming the Aftermath airdrop by using the aggregator, then you might want to look into picking up an egg. Similar to egg, Droplet is associated with 7K smart trading, very similar to Aftermath, also an airdrop coming up. So in addition to trading on 7K, owning droplets is most likely another qualifier for the airdrop. Last bonus NFT collections are associated with Carrier 1, top D pin project on Sui with a rumored airdrop coming up. The two collections that you want to look at, Carrier 1 early adopter, currently sitting at a 44 Sui floor, as well as Carrier Pigeons, a little bit more accessible at 8 Sui floor. These are both tied to the Carrier 1 project. Again, one of the most promising projects built on Sui. So if you're farming this airdrop or looking to farm the Carrier 1 airdrop, then consider picking up a Carrier 1 early adopter NFT as well as a Carrier Pigeons NFT. One major catalyst for the Sui NFT ecosystem coming up is Claynosaurz launching a new collection on Sui. They're one of the top NFT collections brands on Solana and have chosen Sui to launch their companion PopKins collection. The fact that this top NFT collection on Solana, this brand, is minting on Sui tells me that now would be a good time to not only prepare for this mint, which will be probably the biggest, most anticipated in Sui NFT ecosystem history, but also to start positioning yourself, if possible, in some of the top projects that we talked about today. So I'm going to go through the process of actually making a purchase on TradePort, and I've decided I'm going to go ahead and pick up a Doonies NFT. I like the community, I like the art, and I need a new profile pic for my X account. Also, I like this one. I like the beanie, the sunglasses, the black t-shirt. I think it'll work good. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet to TradePort. I'll connect Sui wallets. I'll connect my Slush wallet. Approve. All right, so again, this one is right at the floor, and I'm gonna click on buy. So I'm gonna buy this one, current price 70 Sui, and I'll say buy NFT, approve. All right, we take a look at the activity feed. You can see it showed up right here. Let's take a look at my items, and there it is. So I'm definitely excited about this one. Feels good to actually be buying NFTs again. It's been a long time. When I first started in crypto, it was really through NFTs on Ethereum back in 2020, around that time. And so I'm a huge fan of NFTs, but it's been a long time since I've had any urge to get back into them. But now with Sui exploding, I feel like NFTs are an area where you can look for opportunity in the coming months as we progress further into the year, especially if Sui does run up to all-time highs again and then kind of settles. I would expect that's when the NFT market would really start to take off. So now's a good time to look around, see what you like, find collections that fit your style, communities that fit your style, and see if you can get a good entry. It's always a good idea to use bids, not like I just did, just buy it straight away, but go ahead and use bids to try to get a good price on a collection that you want. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more crypto content. I'll see you in the next one.